What is up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? It's your old friend IndyCar Tim here with the Black and Gold Daily Blitz. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the program. It is New York Jets post-game edition right here on the Black and Gold Daily Blitz. Find me on X and Threads at IndyCar Tim. I would love to converse with you briefly, chit-chat with you about the Pittsburgh Steelers' big win over the New York Jets, 37-15, as Russell Wilson cooks. And he's waited long enough to do it, hadn't he? I'm sure he was excited to get his very first start of the season. Patience has always been a virtue of Wilson, and he has certainly had to show that this season. Another big virtue of Wilson throughout his career has been belief. And for the 35-year-old who's trying to restart his career in Pittsburgh, that was going to come up big. He believed he would get an opportunity to reset his career in Pittsburgh. He believed he still had it in him to do it. And while that start may have come a little bit later than he anticipated, Wilson offered proof that he's not yet close to being done during that 37-15 victory over Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and the New York Jets on Sunday night. Wilson threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for another score. He completed 16 of 29 passes for 264 yards, shaking off some early rust and ignoring boos. He got booed by his hometown team who's been calling for him to start. And honestly, I get it. He was pretty bad there in the first few minutes of the game, the first couple of drives. Just flat out missing short throws right into the ground. It was bad there for a few minutes. So, yes, boos were raining down. There were even brief chants for Justin Fields during the first half as Wilson was struggling. But an 11-yard touchdown throw to George Pickens late in the first half finally settled the nerves, settled the crowd, allowed Wilson to exhale a little bit. There weren't any more of those scores to Pickens. There was a 1-yard touchdown run on a sneak late in the third quarter and a 4-yard pass to Van Jefferson in the fourth. As Pittsburgh topped 30 points in consecutive weeks for the first time since early in the 2020 season. He's not quite yet in that let Russ cook era of his prime in Seattle, but he certainly looked more than capable in front of a packed crowd at Acrisure Stadium that, by the way, included former president and current Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, who was a visitor, a guest of a suite holder. They never told us who the suite holder was. We have our suspicions that it might have been the Jets owner. But, you know, whatever the reason, he was there. He got to get a big cheer from the crowd. USA chants started going off as he was egging on the crowd from the suite. Pittsburgh ripped off the game's final 31 points after spotting the Jets a 15-6 lead. Yeah, that would be interesting. 15-6 lead. The New York Jets did not look good, buddy. There seems to be no gel, at least not this early, between Adams and Rodgers. And to be quite honest, Rodgers may just be done. He just has not looked good, I don't think, all season long. They're 2-5, 1-3 on the road. He just may be done, and I don't know that any coaching change, any offensive coordinator change, any offensive play caller change, or any other wide receiver that he has loved and adored for his entire career comes over. He's got Lazard, now he's got Adams. I just don't see any chemistry. They tried to get Adams involved early in the game. He had a couple of catches early, but, man, it was ugly. It was just ugly. You know, if New York wants to get back into contention in the AFC East, they're going to have to find some magic somewhere. Now, Rodgers passed for 276 yards with a touchdown. He only connected with Adams 3 times for 30 yards. He had 2 passes intercepted by Beanie Bishop. Go Beanie Bishop, by the way. And the Steelers turned those Beanie Bishop interceptions into game-turning scores. The Jets were up by 9, had a chance to extend their lead in the first half when Bishop stepped in front of a Rodgers pass intended for Garrett Wilson at midfield. And that was a weird one because it looked like Bishop tipped the ball disrupted Wilson's catch, and then it bounced off of Wilson's chest right back into the arms of Bishop. Interesting play. He returned the ball, the interception for his first career touchdown. And, you know, the player of the day, Beanie Bishop, maybe. Chris Boswell kicked 3 field goals, and pretty much that was it for the Steelers. Rodgers tried to hit Wilson down the left sideline on New York's next possession, but the ball bounced off Wilson, as we just talked about. You know, Tomlin raised some eyebrows earlier in the week when he opted to turn to Wilson over Fields, who racked up 10 touchdowns, 5 passing, 5 rushing against 1 turnover and 6 starts. But Tomlin's reasoning was pretty simple, and it makes sense. The Steelers they've been good, but he says the standard in Pittsburgh is not good. It is great. So you got to know what you have with Wilson, right? With Russell Wilson. You kind of know where you are with Justin Fields. Clearly, Tomlin wants to see more, and he went with Wilson. Did he see more with Wilson? I think you saw Fields' level of play with Wilson in his first start. What does that mean? Well, that means Wilson's probably going to continue to get the starts, and Tomlin will see where they stand here in a couple of weeks. With a big stretch here, you've got the Giants. Then you have the bye week. Then you have the Commanders will be a tough one. Then the Ravens, the lowly Browns who are going to be without Deshaun Watson the rest of the season. Then the Bengals. Then Cleveland again. You know, and by then you're going to know if Russell could cook. And also you're going to know a lot more about Arthur Smith, your offensive coordinator. Does he have what it takes? Is he the guy? Because for some reason I haven't heard anyone questioning Arthur Smith, although we've been doing it on this show all season long, about if he's the guy to lead the offense. It's questionable at this point. I need to see Smith and Wilson work together for a little bit, and I need to see what Wilson can do under Smith's tutelage here for the next few weeks. But big win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 37-15 over Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. As I mentioned, the New York Giants will come to town next week. That is an ESPN Monday Night Football game. We will preview the Giants here later in the week here on the Black and Gold Daily Blitz. I'm IndyCar Tim. Find me at Threads and X at IndyCar Tim. Thanks for joining FanStream Sports. Make sure you download that FanStream Sports mobile app for all the greatest and latest live shows and college and football news and podcasts. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see you.